Stopping by the studios today, we have some friends from Weston Schools here to join us as Molly Caston is in to talk about some of the great things going on at Weston. Molly, it's a busy weekend for the school, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This week we have on Friday, we have our Fine Arts Festival. I don't know what else, I can't remember how we refer to it, but it's celebrating all the hidden treasures that we have at Weston. And so I brought with me today Laura Deemer, our art teacher, and Mariah Green, who is our public relations communications staff member, and the two of them, along with Chrissy Klemp, our music teacher, have created a really nice event for Friday, for all day, for our students and community.
And how often have you had this? Has this been a regular thing through the years?
So I believe Mrs. Deemer came to Weston in 2021-22 school year, and when she came, she started developing this event every spring. And so what it is it's a fine arts showing. So we have a combination of our art that the students are producing along with our music. And so there's always a theme that is developed. And so the music usually and the theme of the day, it all goes together. And so it's been a really nice event the past several years that we've done this.
Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming down to the studios here today. So it sounds like you've got a lot of good things going on. Can you tell us about the program?
Yes. So as she said, I just started at Weston 4 years ago. And when I came here, I noticed all of the different, I referred to them as hidden treasures of Weston School, not just in the offerings that Weston offers class-wise, but also within the students. And so I said, it would be really great in the spring to celebrate all of that by putting on a festival of not just the arts, but the music and the ag program and all the different little features that they have. So we've built upon that each year, and then this year we've expanded it, and we have kind of call it a reverse field trip in the morning for the kids. So we have presenters coming into the school, and the kids are going to go through 6 different stations. Also, this year's overriding theme is on Wisconsin, because there are so many hidden treasures of Wisconsin that we wanted to celebrate too. So all the people are from Wisconsin that are coming in and bringing their treasures to us. And then the students are going to go in rotations, all students 4K through grade 12.
Okay, I was going to say all ages will have.
All ages are going to be there, yes.
Some art showing there.
Yes.
Then. So some amazing stuff, I'm sure.
It is going to be fun, yeah. We have a couple of people from Merchant Center. Paul Tishner is going to be there. Tiny Acre Zoo Farm is going to be there. So, yeah, just a lot of different features for kids to see and realize that these things are available to them, either to go celebrate and do things in the off-season, or whenever they want to maybe refer to someone like, how can I do this? They can have professionals that they can talk to.
I'm sure that preaching to the choir about how important arts are in our school. But,
yes,
but it's so important, especially in the rural setting like that, to have these programs, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. And one of the things I stress with our kids is that not just I don't expect them to be the next Da Vinci or Van Gogh, but that they can problem solve. They can use the skills that they learn in the art room, even in math class and in science class, but also when they graduate and go on, they know how to face a situation and turn it into a positive.
You had some students last year that were in the studio, and I believe they showed their work at the Frank Lloyd Wright.
They did, at the Wrapped Teen Show. We did that again this year, and we have 2 students this year. Last year, one of our students, Logan Bingham, went on to the state show, and this year we have 2 students.
Okay.
So we did really well again this year.
And their names?
Vivian Spencer and Carson Waslick.
Okay. And what projects are they showing?
Vivian did a painting. She likes to just paint. She sits down and does portraits, which scare me to death, but she loves to do them. So she did 2 portrait paintings. And then Carson was kind of looking around for something to do, and I started doing 3D pen work in there with them. And so she did a multimedia project that had the 3D printing pen and painting also behind it.
Yeah, things like that just fascinate me, and things that you didn't have access to just a few years ago.
Right. Oh, exactly. Yeah, the 3D printing pen is something new. I'm trying to learn it myself. But yeah, it's a very versatile tool. You can do a lot of things with it. You can even make clothing with it. So it's crazy the things you can do.
And people can see that at Weston.
Yes, they can.
See the good work.
Those pieces will be on display on Friday also.
Good. Mariah Green is here as well. As we mentioned, public relations, you wear a lot of hats, it sounds like, Mariah.
Just a couple.
So tell us about, I know you're involved in gelato and the pasteurization process. So talk about that whole thing, because you got a whole big thing going on behind the scenes, don't you?
Yeah, so kind of along with my day-to-day, I jumped in and kind of helped with our sheep project. So I was born and raised on a farm, and so I kind of knew the behind the scenes of milking and taking care of animals. So I would say this January, when we were kind of like knee deep in lambing season, they needed some more hands. So I decided to start helping with that and kind of drug my boys and husband into helping too. But started slowly with just doing the milking and helping with that process and the lambs, and then kind of started taking on a little bit more of helping making our sheep's milk gelato that we have, which will be featured at the show as well. And next week will be taking my state exam to do pasteurizing of milk. So we have to have a licensed pasteurizer in the dairy plant to be able to then produce the gelato. So our current pasteurizer, which is our advisor, Chrissy Klemp, she's been pasteurizing like a mad woman, getting ready for Friday. And then we've all just kind of been taking turns helping get the gelato made and packaged and ready to go for our community this week. So.
And you actually sell that, don't you?
We do, yes. Yep. So we do have it available on our website. You can order it. Obviously, we can't ship it, but we will be having it available for people to try on Friday, and then we take pre-orders for that too. So. And then along with the gelato, we also make sheep's milk soap that we sell year-round.
That is awesome, and it gives the students the opportunity to not only be in agriculture, but to see kind of all the aspects of it, right?
Yeah, yep, absolutely. I think it's really something special about our school, and it takes a lot of time and effort, but I think it's worth dedicating that to keep the program going. So,
how many animals do you have to milk?
Right now, we have 12 ewes that we milk. So on a year, it can vary anywhere between 12 and 16 to 18. So next year, I think we'll be back up into that higher number again. But it's definitely a different change of pace than being in an office. So
never a dull moment.
No, not at all.
You and your family then you volunteer for milking. Is that do you take shifts and?
Yeah, so there's a morning shift and an evening shift. So a lot of times there's students who help with the morning shift before school starts, and then we have kind of a sign-up calendar that we pick a day, and so we just decided to start helping on Wednesdays. That's our day, and we commit that to the sheep. And so after school, we get our rubber boots on and head on out to the barn.
And that'll be a summertime thing too, right?
Yeah, we'll have a few more weeks here to go with the milking until we decide to dry them up, and then we start again at the end of January again next year. So we give them the summer off.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then, of course, the other hat you wear is public relations. Tell me about some of the things you do there behind the scenes.
Yeah. So I am the social media and community relations coordinator. So in that role, I manage our social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, our YouTube channel, along with our communications platform for our families. I also manage our website and our mobile app, which is very prevalent now. Everyone's on their phones, and that's how they get a lot of communication from the school and keep up to date on events. And then also kind of the marketing side of it, market our school and really what makes Weston so special and why we want to be there. So
full-time job, it sounds like.
Yeah.
and then some. But very important, that's I mentioned how to get the word out, and the other thing is keeping that up to date, because things get out of date pretty quickly, don't they?
Yeah, and things change very quickly too, especially during like sporting events, how quickly it can change that something's canceled or it's moved up, and trying to get all of that information out to people. And social media is so prevalent, so it's really important to do a good job communicating on social media and also through our communication channels. So it's definitely keeps me on my toes.
How many days of school left? Are you aware of that, Laura?
I have not counted. I did hear via the superintendent, I think we have 4 Mondays left. I think it was posted somewhere in the building by her.
Boy, it's going quickly, isn't it?
It is.
Kind of a bittersweet time for you as a teacher, isn't it?
It is. It's sad. The sad part for me this year is the first year that I will be saying goodbye to my seniors that I started with them as freshmen. So they are already like, you're going to come to my party, you're going to come see me. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, I do have a special bond with them. I started, like I said, 4 years ago, and my first period class was study hall, which had all the freshmen. And then my third period class was an art class where I had, I think, another like 10 of them, and 8 of them were boys. So it was a fun learning experience up here. So, but it all turned out really well. Like I said, we've become good friends, and not too tight, friends, but just respect each other, and gone through a lot of things with them. And it will be sad to have them leave the building because they've been here the whole time I've been here.
Where did you work previously, Laura?
I was down south in Illinois, just across the border, just south of Monroe in Freeport. And I was an art teacher and communications director. I did Mariah's job also at a small private school there. But I actually grew up in Cassville. So I met my husband at UW-Platteville. And so we always wanted to get back to the good old Wisconsin ground. So we finally took the leap back up here 4 years ago.
Having grown up in Cassville, not unlike Weston. I mean, the
Very
small
similar,
school,
yes.
Good family atmosphere.
Absolutely, yes. And so it's very comfortable for me to come to Weston because of that atmosphere at Cassville. But then also when I was in Illinois, I worked there for 20 years. And my 5 boys went through the program there, and it was a small private school about the same size that Weston is. So it's very comfortable to me to be up here at Weston, and then also to be back home in Wisconsin is the extra bonus.
It's always cool to see the students that, some are maybe only involved in art, maybe only involved in music, but some of those that are in sports and everything else, and you wonder where they find the time to get it all done.
Right. Yeah, it's a multimedia type thing that the kids have to be able to multitask and keep their everything on track. And sometimes you have to kind of help them out with that because they're learning those skills. But it's nice to see them. And then the bonus too for being 4K through 12 is to get to see them grow through all those ages. And like now my elementary kids that I started with are now getting into junior high and get to reintroduce them. And so it's fun to watch that growth.
No doubt about it. The big doings coming up this weekend, the pancake breakfast. Can you tell us about that, Mariah?
Yeah, so on Saturday we will have our annual pancake breakfast. This year the Weston Sheep Project is putting that on. It's from 8 to 12, and it's a free will donation, and just a good chance to come up and visit and see the school, and anyone's welcome to take a tour of the sheep barn too and see all the lambs. So we'll stay busy with that this weekend.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be a mouse in the corner. This is the opportunity to kind of see the operation behind the scenes, isn't it?
Yeah, and we have a lot of people that take advantage of that. Even like at our craft fairs when we sell the gelato, we will have people that want to tour the barn and see the dairy plant facility, and so it's kind of a nice brag to have at our school and be one of the only schools in Wisconsin with that dairy processing. So
yeah. It's so unique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's what makes Weston real unique, and I think that you can kind of build on that, but you have to give back to the program. So I'm guessing things like this help go back and fund the program, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yep. So the sale of our gelato and also our soap then year round goes back to the program. But we've been really fortunate that we have a lot of community that donate to the project itself, but also, for example, like veterinaries that will just donate their time and we have to pay for supplies, or we have community members. We just had someone donate a load of hay that they bought at a hay sale. So we're really well supported by our community in that aspect and in the program.
Exciting time. I know, Molly, as you look down the stretch here, this is one of the last big key events of the school year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And on Friday also at 1 o'clock, we will have our junior high school music concert. Oh. We're having it in the afternoon. We wanted to make sure we didn't have any conflict with sports. We have so few students, that participate, we have a small number of students that we didn't want to take them from, any of those things. So we have that in the afternoon. And then at 2:00, we have our elementary concert. And so that's open for people to come to. And also then they can tour all the art displays that there will be in the hall. So it's a good time, to come in and see what we do. The way it's displayed the past few years it's been really unique and done in a really nice way. So it's a nice showing of our students.
I know it was a tough time when the referendum didn't pass, but life goes on, right? Mm-hmm. And it looks like you're moving ahead and looking at it as a positive thing.
Yes, we, our community supports, like Mariah talked about, they support our SHEEP program and some of those things that we're doing and those unique things that make Weston Weston. And, we're going to have some adjustments that we'll need to be making over the next year, but we will make those and we'll continue on. We have a lot of good things going on at Weston. It's, as Laura talked about, that small school feel, the relationships that we get to have with kids is valuable. And we provide a solid education to our kids. Our kids get to have relationships with people, like for Mariah. Mariah's the other thing she didn't even talk about is she's the freshman class advisor. Every person in our school does more than one thing. Laura's the NHS National Honor Society advisor. Chrissy Klemp, who's not here because she's back home, she's back at home taking care of all the practice for all the concert that's coming up. She is our 4K through 12 music teacher, but she is taking care of the SHEEP project because of, we had to have some division of labor when we had a new teacher come in. So everybody does more than just what you would think of their position and the dedication to our students. That's the great thing about Weston. I never, Laura talked about graduation coming up, and when my youngest child graduated, I didn't understand why it was more upsetting for me when the Weston kids graduated than my own son. But it's just that, you build such a close relationship with kids that you see over the years, and we're at the end of our timeline with them. My own children, it's just one step, and we're the final step at graduation. And it's hard because you develop relationships. You can't go through the things that you go through with kids and have those connections and not get that close to them. So that is what makes Weston great, is all the connections with the community and the students and our staff that are willing, like Mariah and Laura and Mrs. Klemp, Chrissy Klemp, to do all those extra things that they don't have to do.
Yeah, I get that, because when students do graduate, you don't know how much you'll see them again, and you've seen them every day for the past many years, haven't you?
Yeah, you don't. Even the kids like last year, you think, oh, we're going to see them every now and then. No, we don't. They don't come in. You're done. Like you may see them on occasion, but it's not the same. We spend so much time with everybody's children, and to go all of a sudden and you're done. It's difficult, but that's life, and we want them to move on to their next step. But that's what makes us really great, I think.
Graduation, what day is that?
May 23rd.
Okay.
May 23rd. That's coming up, and that's at 7:00. And check with Mariah. Make sure I don't give out the wrong date or time.
Yeah, that's
She
awesome.
keeps me on track with dates and times and many other things. That's another of her job duties that's not listed. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks for all you do. Anything else anybody would like to add?
The only other thing I forgot to mention when Mariah was talking about all of the community support, one of the other things that's helping out tremendously for our art show this year is that we received a grant from Richland Community Campus Foundation, and so the monies that they are giving us are making it able for us to have some of the presenters come in, and then also covering some of the expenses because as we talked about with the referendum not passing, our belts are getting tighter. So that was a very, very welcome gift from the Richland Community Campus Foundation that helped us cover some of the costs that Probably would have had to come out of my budget a little bit and here and there. So now we don't have to do that. So that was a wonderful, wonderful gift. I got the call on Easter Monday. So it was made the Easter weekend wonderful.
I bet it did.
Yes, it did.
But I think moving forward for all districts in Wisconsin, those are the kind of things that they're going to make art programs, continue
Exactly.
for the
Exactly.
future. Mm-hmm. Good deal.